Hey, I'm Tim Suttard from Classic Motorsports. When I was 15, my very first car was a puke green 67 Mustang Fastback. My whole life I've wanted another one. I've really watched the prices on these things go up. Of course, the Shelby version is the best one to have. It's the coolest one with the most power, the most collectible. The prices dipped last year and I finally found one that I could afford, and now I've got my baby back. The first thing you need to do on any project car is clean it up and really look the car over. You need to do a thorough analysis. That's obviously done even better with an expert. Pete Geisler is the owner of Orlando Mustangs. He restores these cars. He's the SAC or Shelby Club rep in this area. He knows a lot more about these cars than we do. We've asked him to come take a look at the car with us. There's lots of detail stuff you need to think of. Even something as simple as changing the alternator. The Shelby had a bigger pulley on its alternator than a standard Mustang to slow the belts down. This one's been thrown away along the way. These are the details you can't miss.
Well, in general, when we go out and look at a car like this is a early to mid-range 67 Shelby. We're looking at some key factors initially to try to determine how much of this car is retained, how much is original since 1967. There are some key factors. Everybody obviously is looking for: original motor, original trans, how much of the body is there that's still intact from day one. Then we get into unique pieces that Mr. Shelby's employees installed, such as the wheels, the axle snubbers, the fiberglass, even down to seatbelt straps and unique gauges on the interior, the steering wheel. So we have a detailed list that we go over, and Mr. Tim Suttard and I today have gone over this car, and we've come up with a pretty good idea of what's original in this car and what history has changed on it, and determined from that we know now how to go forward with the restoration and what we have to search for, what will need to be found in the future. I think on this particular car, Tim was lucky enough to find a really good example. This car has by and large very little rust, no evidence of wrecks. The serial numbers are all still intact. Amazingly, the car hasn't had any inner fender changes. It has had a motor change early in its life, but another engine has been located so we can put the engine back and have it date correct. We're now down to some smaller items that we're trying to determine if we need to search and find the correct ones. But it looks like he has found an excellent body to start with, and in fact, luckily, it's very similar to one that Tim and his dad had early in his life, so I think that's going to make it extra exciting for him to do the restoration.
Ultimately, we'll restore the whole car, but in the meantime, I think we're going to put it together as a rat rod. We've got friends at National Parts Depot and Orlando Mustang that can help us with this. And I think we'll go on some high-speed tours, see if we can freak the high-end crowd out a little bit with this rat rod Shelby.